I poured the turpentine into the paint can. The hammer produced a promising sound. F sharp.
So I got A, F sharp, and G. They don't do anything.
Well, that was fun. An empty, coffee-stained mug had been left by the altar. There was a recess in the wall with a Latin word carved above it. Puritas, purity. I'd seen that word before somewhere. A modern plaster altar had been built against the rock. A statue of the Madonna and Child watched over the chapel. I'd lowered the candelabra. I often wondered what these things looked like close up. I lit the candles on the candelabra. That was... We couldn't leave now. My mother always said cleanliness is next to godliness. It didn't work. I didn't want to set my pants on fire. I needed a better idea.
So I'm in the right sort of thing.
I put the shavings in the mug. I lit the shavings. They smelled not completely unlike sandalwood. The shavings were slowly burning inside the mug. That wouldn't make any sense. The shavings were slowly burning inside the mug. It was tempting to get rid of all the bread, but you never know when you might need a potion to ward off unwelcome advances. That would be pointless. That was never going to happen.
Run out anyway.
I sprayed the shavings with Brett. Delightful. I put the scented shavings in the mug. I lit the scented shavings. A sweet aroma started to fill the room. Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What were you
Oh, it's Schubert's Ave Maria. Oh, excuse
I can't read music, so
there, dear.
I'm guessing I have to hit the all the instruments in a certain order to play a musical tune. Like I said, I can't read sheet music, so I messed something up as well by the looks of things.
They smelt exotic.
Oh, maybe not. Oops.
The hammer produced a promising sound. A. G. B. F sharp. G. A. That wasn't it. G. A. G. B. F sharp. G. Well, that was fun.
Well, I didn't do anything.
The scent of incense was rising from the mug. Divine.
Right, I'm gonna have to read through this because I've done all this and it's not doing anything.
The candelabra lit up the room, but it sure wasn't heavenly yet.
This isn't working. Have I done something wrong? Unless, oh, hang on. Maybe because on this picture he's done the other way around. Hang on.
The hammer produced a promising sound. F sharp. G. B. G. I had it.
There we go.
It was the tune Dwayne was humming.
George, that's Ave Maria. Let me have a go.
Wow. You really nailed that, Nico.
Yep, this mop really is pretty special. Leave this to me.
Hi, Dwayne.
Hey, George.
What?
Oh, gee, Ave. Maybe this place isn't so bad after all.
What can...
Well, she,
How you holding up?
me, Pearl on the other.
Nothing's happening. Uh,
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Pearl needs me. There, dear.
oh, hang on. Some of this I'd never get.
I rested the side mirror precariously on the candelabra.
Yeah, I'm using a guide because makes no sense.
I secured the mirror in place with some yarn. Now that was something. The light from the candelabra spilled over the Black Madonna like waves of spiritual goodness in candle form.
Pumpkin? Oh my!
What?
The sound of angels, the lights of heaven, the smell of piety, and
Yes.
the Madonna, I do believe. Tears. She's crying, Dwayne. The Madonna's crying. Father, son, little Timmy. Wrong side of the road. Not my fault. The broken leg. Compensation claim. Forgive me, poor Timmy.
Oh, Pearl, my precious. You're such a sensitive soul.
Well, now that's done. I feel my soul's floating on air. We can get on with our pilgrimage, Dwayne.
Just another 1,000 clicks to go.
Pearl was back to her usual cheery self. Mrs. Henderson,
George, dear boy.
how you feeling?
Oh, just fine, thank you. I have just seen a miracle, George. It's all gonna be all right from now.
I'm sure it is, Mrs. Henderson. I'm sure it is. So, Pearl, what have you been up to since we last met?
Well, George, I've been on a journey.
Oh, really? Well, what kind of journey?
A spiritual one. A journey along the road to enlightenment.
Wow. And is that what brought you here?
It is. Though Santa Cova is but one step on that road.
What's so special about Santa Cova?
It's an ancient and very holy place. I've spent the last year researching it, and I can truly say there is nothing I do not know about it.
I don't suppose you'd know anything about that rock out there?
No, only that for 1,000 years, people have claimed to see a face in its shapes.
It does have a face.
Still, keeping busy, Dwayne?
Like the man said, George, that old kaleidoscope keeps getting shaken, and the pieces are ever in flux.
Guess it's your job to pick 'em up, huh?
Well, somebody has to do it, compadre.
I enjoyed talking to Dwayne, but I was rarely any the wiser afterwards. What can you tell me about the statue?
I read that the Black Madonna has been here since the 9th century. She's called the Virgin of Montserrat. Some say the original was moved to the cathedral. But Dwayne and I know that's just a bluff, don't we, honey?
We sure do. This one is the real McCoy.
What can you tell me about Santa Cova?
Well, dear, they call it the Chapel of the Holy Grotto. It was built directly into the mountain itself in 1696. It survived the Napoleonic Wars, mudslides, Civil War. But the chapel is still standing today. It's a miracle.
Or a restoration.
What was that, dear?
Yes, a miracle. Hey, Pearl, take a sniff of this.
Takes me back to Dwayne in his frat house days.
I didn't... Hey, have a look at this.
Don't you bring that thing anywheres near me, honey.
His name is Trevor.
You gave that a name?
Yes.
He's a loyal and useful companion.
So is Dwayne, but I don't keep him in a box, George.
Well, there was that one time, honey.
Not now, Dwayne.
So, this ball of yarn, what do you think?
I think you're a lucky man to have it, George. Keep it.
Take a look at these papers.
That document has the Vatican seal on it. Ooh, you better keep it safe, honey. I bet there's some people who would love to get their hands on it.
Oh, you have no idea. What do you make of this?
It looks like an Ouroboros.
Oh, you recognize it? Let me show you something else. Can you tell me anything about this painting?
Oh, nothing, dear. Apart from the obvious Gnostic connotations, of course.
What?
You know, the Dominicans. All those Gnostic saints. Doubting Thomas, Judas. And you see the woman in the red cloak? The infamous Mary Magdalene herself.
A lady in red.
That's enough now, Dwayne. You know my feelings about her.
Pearl knew her Gnostic onions, all right.
Then there's the Ouroboros, of course.
Something special about it?
Well, if I remember rightly, there was an Ouroboros right here in this chapel. Back in the 30s and 40s, the chapel was renovated. The workmen uncovered numerous symbols carved in the rock. Amongst them was a fine Ouroboros.
But that's amazing. So, where is it?
Oh, it's not there now.
Oh,
It was considered blasphemous, so they plastered over it. Sweetheart, I think it's time for us to go. The road to enlightenment waits for no woman.
'Tis the pilgrim's lot, George.
It was so nice to see you again. And meet your girlfriend.
Will not?
Take this radio, Nico. Never know when you might need it. Keep an eye on our boy George here.
Poor little lost lamb.
I'm not...
Don't worry, this little lamb's in safe hands. Bon voyage.
Bye-bye, dears.
See ya.
Nico, don't even start.
Little lamb?
Let's focus on the task in hand, shall we? Okay. This Ouroboros that Pearl mentioned,
You're right. We need to find it.
the carving showed a figure in prayer. The wall here was made of bare rock. It looked like the chapel had been built right into it. I needed a better idea. It was a selection.
Nothing else in there, okay.
I already had a candle.
I wonder if that goes in the...
I placed a candle in the recess above which Puritas had been carved. I thought I'd heard a faint click. I couldn't see anything unusual about it.
Faint click.
The view... I didn't need any more candles.
I can't do anything with this. I've got to do something with the altar then. Can I leave?
We couldn't leave.
No.
The crank handle was connected. A carving.
What the hell clicked?
The Black Madonna was clearly the focal point of the chapel. The candlelight was dancing on the Black Madonna. Now that was one heavenly sight. It was a wall of rock. I hoped this was the right thing to do. Hey, Nico, I found the Ouroboros.
So what now?
Pearl was right. The plaster had covered an Ouroboros. I knew it. Another secret passageway.
Amazing, Charles. How did you do it?
Just another case of the old Stobbart magic, I guess, Nico. It looks a little dark in there.
Are you scared, Charles?
Of course not. Just worried about you tripping. That's all.
One short and very dark climb later.
Whoa, this is one dark cave.
It's the door that worries me, Georges.
Well, I'm sure the door will open again if we give it a minute. No need to panic. Now we panic. Help! I gotta say, Nico, you're pretty calm about this.
Traveling with you, Georges, I've got used to this kind of thing. If I panicked every time a door shut behind us, probably forever, well,
You're right. What was I thinking? You see if you can get the door open, and I'll go check out the dark, evil-smelling cave. Fumbling around in the dark wasn't going to be fun. But heck, I'd spent a lifetime doing it, so what was new? The wall felt like it had something carved into it. The thing had branches like a tree. It felt cold and smooth, like worn stone.
Squidgy hole.
I could feel something smooth and spherical with clumps of what felt like fur or hair. It was cold to the touch and felt like carved rock. It was just my mind playing tricks in the dark. It was stone with a recess in it and, an oily liquid in it. There was some kind of thin twine in the middle of it, too.
Oh, that's...
Hey, Nico, I think I found some light. Whoa!
it must be Guénon. Ramon said he disappeared while searching the mountains for the tabula.
So this is where he ended up. Dead in a cave. Hole in the head dead. Decomposing for decades dead. And on closer inspection, I'd even say blown your own brains out dead.
Okay, Georges, I get the point. What is this place?
Who knows? But look at the Gnostic symbols.
You're right. The colors, the trees. But who is she?
It looks like the Virgin Mary, but I don't think it is.
What do you mean?
The red robes and that whole off-the-shoulder look? It must be Mary Magdalene, of course. Marquez told me that the Gnostics revered her. This place, it's some kind of Gnostic shrine.
There's got to be something to release that door. Maybe amongst these carvings.
But if it was that obvious, don't you think Guénon would have found it? The carved figure had once been green. I wondered if it was a representation of Jehovah. A large carving of the Tabula Veritatis symbol. All the other figures in the scene seemed to be supplicating themselves to it. Blue paint was peeling from the carved figure. I wondered if it was an image of Lucifer. A group of figures looked up towards the tabula. They were all colored red. I'd seen something like it before. The pillar had been carved into the shape of a tree and painted green. I knew it represented the tree of life. The pillar had been sculpted into a tree and then painted blue. I knew it was supposed to be the tree of knowledge. There were ancient scratches on the plinth, as if someone had moved the statue. I'm sure that this is Mary Magdalene.
The red robes. It all makes sense. The Madonna would be wearing blue. So, who's the child?
Well, according to the Gnostic Gospels, when Mary kissed the lips of Jesus, she,
Oh, I see.
Yep,
So the Gnostics think that the suckling child is...
I guess so.